thanks for joining me today for episode 25 of Business in the Bedroom, a bootstrapper's guide to doing it. I'm your host, producer Jemmy, providing practical advice for the newbie entrepreneur. And today I'm going to revisit the importance of keeping track by keeping you up with me keeping track. Yes, that's right. We're cracking open my business journal again. This episode is brought to you by Flintstone Media. Listen in and let's do this. If you recall, episode 20 back in June was a very special episode because I opened up the pages of my then new beautiful gray personal business journal and shared my recent entries and the light bulb reason why I decided to start sharing them on this show with you. And the reason was because I wanted to illustrate in big, bold letters the heart song that happens when you work toward making your living from your life's passion. Well, here I go again. So the last episode where I cracked open my journal took place at the end of June. So we're going to kick off with an entry from July, the 4th of July, actually, and it was a Sunday. And I wrote, "This week, I got the ball rolling on a milestone that was really a big business gift to myself. I've been super financially careful these last couple of months, and after running this month's numbers, I'm finally feeling comfortable enough to feel like I can pay my rent and pay my team and have no problem doing so. So in celebration, I bought about $150 to $200 worth of storage stuff and decorative crap to decorate my studio. And I also find myself with having enough time and peace of mind to have put a big target on organizing both my office and Jordan's stuff, allowing myself to actually buy decorative stuff at Target, i.e. stuff that's not necessary for business operations, was huge. And knowing that I'll be passing off even more of my daily work to Amber and George is just so awesome. Woohoo! Jordan's even recognized this change in my free time. We've been able to clean and organize together this weekend, to play and to talk and to laugh. It was great. See, I want to start off with the most important thing, that working my butt off these last few years has finally paid off because now I have extra free time with my son. Yay! All right, so this next entry is a cool one. This one says, Friday, July 9th, 2021. Glenn came in town yesterday. Glenn, a.k.a. Glenn the Geek, of course, Radio Network. Haha. It was the first time I've seen him since PodFest 2020, over a year ago. But it was so great showing off my studio and the Shure mic kits and all the progress I've made in my business. Then we called Danny Pena together to wish him a happy birthday. And during the call, it occurred to me to ask Danny to be one of our PodFest podcast guest speakers. And he said, yes, of course. Sweet. So in case you're unfamiliar with Danny Pena, he is the Hall of Famer, Danny Pena of Gamertag Radio, the top rated video game podcast, I believe, in the world. So congratulations on Danny, and congratulations to us on getting him as a guest speaker on our upcoming show, PodFest Podcast. All right, then we're going to skip a couple of weeks to Friday, July 30th, where I wrote, today, I got to participate as a speaker for a virtual conference, Share Your Pod. Kim White reached out on Wednesday to ask, and I jumped right in. It was a lot of fun. So that was really cool. In case you've heard me talk about being a public speaker, about doing conferences and all those kinds of things to get your name out there and expand your brand, there you go. I don't just talk it, I does it. Okay, that was the Share Your Pod virtual conference. It was a lot of fun. Then the next day, or Saturday, July 31st, I wrote, 2 big ideas came to me today. Okay, so full disclosure, I'm only sharing one of them here on this recording. The other one has to be a secret for a little bit longer. So, all right, I wrote, first, not only am I going to be putting together a downloadable PDF, finally, but I also came up with a strategy to turn it into passive income. Woohoo! Always good news. And of course, then there was a second idea that is going to remain quiet for now. Okay, so Tuesday, August 10th, 2021 had 2 entries, actually. Number 1, I wrote, so today I did a thing. I finally took my own advice and created space on my website with a downloadable PDF. That same downloadable PDF I mentioned before? Yeah, that one. Woohoo! It's producer Jemmy's top podcasting tips pack. And I secured toppodcastingtips.com, which I could not believe was available. I still can't believe it was available. All right, I went on and I said, I created a kick-ass PDF and strategy to keep it attractive. Plus, I'm charging for it. Heck yes. But after I put it all together and tested it and had my brother also test it, I sat back and realized the following, that I had to pull together a ton of skills to make that happen. And I should be really proud of myself. And then I listed these skills. I listed out, number 1, the podcast knowledge. Then 2, the business strategy for it. Then number 3, organizing it into a great PDF, which also takes design skills. Number 4, designing and building the landing page with redirects and forwarding the vanity URL I had purchased so that it lands on that landing page. Number 5, creating the forms for people to fill in to order the stuff. Number 6, linking the forms to send emails to my MailChimp list, capture their payment, give them access to download the PDF after payment, and the email to them with more information and the email notification to me too. And number 7, writing the copy for the PDF, the emails, and the landing page. That's a lot. So yes, I am really damn proud of myself. And the second big news of the day was that we secured a sponsor for the Podfest podcast. All right. Name redacted, yet to be announced, is going to be our title sponsor for like the long haul. That's a pretty good amount of money per month, split between the 3 of us. Me, of course, Len the Geek, and of course, Chris Comitzos. Plus, we haven't cleared the board yet. Other companies are also interested, and we haven't even really started the full sponsorship push yet. What? All right, the next entry I'm going to share with you guys is Monday, August 23rd, 2021. I said, so today was definitely a good day. The team and I got to announce that I'm speaking at She Podcast Live 2021. I'm so flipping excited. I just had to figure out how to do it safely. So I'm super nervous about COVID. Ugh. All right. And over the weekend, I got asked to help out in the Breakfast of Champions room, moderating their podcasting hour. Now, let me side note out of my journal for just a second, explain to you what in the world a Breakfast of Champions room is. That is one of the biggest rooms on Clubhouse, and it's tied to some serious professionals and media connections. So it's freaking amazing to be moderating a podcasting hour on their stage. Plus, at the end of the night tonight, as Jordan was finishing up his homework, I went into a podcast room I had been pinged into. Well, a lot of people I respect are running that room. But when I walked in, they were all so enthusiastic and complimentary of me. I felt like a rock star. It was really a pretty special moment because those were all people whom I truly respected and enjoyed talking to. And so many of them were not only in the same room, which is just fun and super lucky and awesome, but also gave me such great flowers. It felt like kind of a transitional or maybe transformative moment, to be honest. Pretty cool, huh? And looking back, it looks like there was even more fun to be had before the end of March happened. So Tuesday, August 31st, 2021, a few very cool things happened today. First, the other day, Angela from Art Hive reached out to me wanting to meet. So after about 10 years, I wanted to get her on the line. She reached out to me and we met today. She wanted to throw a bunch of their percolating ideas and initiatives to me to see what we could possibly collaborate on. So it was a great conversation. And as that meeting was about to take place, I heard from my good old friend, JJ Ramberg, formerly of MSNBC, now of Good Pods. She wants to reach out to tell me all the exciting things they've been up to. And she specifically brought up FPN in her email. So that meeting's happening. And in my call with Angela from Art Hive, she gave me the sudden courage to dive into the world of, are you ready for this? TikTok. So in our meeting, I declared my commitment to creating a TikTok account. And by about 10:45 p.m., I managed to sneak in before the deadline of midnight and create my account as promised. Oh my goodness. And last but not least, on cool things that went down today, Cliff Ravenscraft came in my room, popped back out, then came back in and up on stage and became a fully active participant in my room. I asked the room the question of, what's something that you've done because of podcasting that's taken you out of your comfort zone? And we got some great answers and conversations going. Plus, I ended up doing a 2 to 3 question mini interview. One of the questions I asked him was not about what he predicted as the future of podcasting, but rather, what is something he'd encourage podcasters to consider doing in order to prepare for that future? I think he was impressed with the question, and his answer was very interesting and unexpected. He encouraged, inside scoop guys, he encouraged people to come up with a gang of micro podcasts that are super niched and evergreen. I personally thought the idea could be brilliant as marketing funnels. So I let him know that I was starting my podcasting pro chats and asked if he would be a part of that series in Clubhouse. He and I are supposed to speak now on Thursday too. So woohoo, stay tuned to this space for that. But oh my gosh, I still can't believe I got on TikTok. Did you catch that? Me, producer Jemmy, on TikTok. Eek! So far we've covered a few journal entries about some really cool new developments, right? Well, here's where everything starts to crystallize and come together. Wednesday, September 1st, 2021. I wrote, I had a very interesting moment with a potential client today that I wanted to be sure to capture. She spoke onto me a belief, though the exact dimensions of it were still a blur for her, but she conveyed that something big was about to change for me. A major, pivotal breaking open of opportunity. I told her I was ready to receive, girl. And then I shared with her all these opportunities that are currently percolating, a whole bunch of which I've shared so far here on the episode. So I'll continue with my journal entry. And she reiterated that she felt fully, and this was her word, convicted that this was about to happen for me. Well, yes. Speak it into existence. I'm ready for it. Well, Thursday, September 2nd, the very next day, and here we go. This is pretty cool. Watch what happens, right? I had a massive migraine. So here's what I wrote. Well, today was a massive migraine day, but I woke up from a nap to a pretty awesome message. The Palm Beach County School District reached out to me to deliver the keynote address at their Entrepreneurship Day in November. Talk about an honor. How cool is that? I mean, could this be the initial crack of the breaking open that my potential client was referencing? I don't know, but we're going to see. And then the very next day, which was yesterday by the time I'm recording this, so Friday, September 3rd, says, so who gets to be on Cliff Ravenscraft's show? This girl. So Sid, who's another amazing person on Clubhouse, Sid Meadows, and I were in a room he was running, and we had a great conversation. So he reached out to us and asked if that could be included in the show. In his show. Yes, please. And if any of you are really wondering, who is this Cliff Ravenscraft that Jemmy keeps speaking of? He's like one of the granddaddies of podcasting. He's kind of, a legend. He's been doing it since 2005. So to be asked to be included on his show in a moment that I remember having this conversation with him, that I felt pretty proud of that conversation, what I brought to the table in it, and to know that that is going to be highlighted on his show is pretty dang on awesome. Now, At the end of that first episode where I read from my journal, episode 20, go back and listen if you missed it. But at the end, I told you about one of my favorite people on the planet, Joy, who is my friend, a listener of this show, a podcaster herself, and I have the privilege of being one of her producers. So she's had a front row seat to a lot of my journey and vice versa. By the way, be sure to check out her show, Retired Racehorse Radio. I will include the link in the show notes. Be sure to check it out. So yeah, on episode 20, I shared with you a comment from her on the Dreamers Become Doers Facebook group that really nailed why I get on this microphone every other week and talk to you. And today I'm going to close out this episode by sharing another message I received from her just the other day. She texted, "I want you to know you inspired me to start a second podcast, dedicating the weekend to the launch plan, but may pick your brain for some ideas if that's okay." My response, "Oh, that is so wonderful to hear. And yes, reach out for any advice." And Joy texted back, "You're amazing. I'll keep you posted. Thank you for being fearless and so giving. Seeing your journey has been huge for me. We need more people like you in this world." Wow. Just wow. I couldn't even respond. I still haven't responded because I was left speechless by that message from her. But Joy, I know you're hearing this, and thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm just, I don't know, doing my very best to try. So I appreciate you. Now, I'll remind you of all the wonderful ways that you can join in on this conversation as you go from being a dreamer to being a doer yourself as well. So not only can you post updates and comments on the Dreamers Become Doers Facebook group, but you definitely want to join in on Clubhouse. That is where the most active and engaging conversations happen with this group. And they happen in real time. I know Joy is in a room hanging out with me, learning, sharing updates, etc. on Clubhouse like every week. And apparently between this show and those rooms, it's helping. So I want to be sure you are fully served too. Whether your dream has to do with podcasting or whatever it is, if you're a creative trying to build a business out of your passion, then you need to join in on these conversations. So here's when these conversations are happening. Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern is the Ask the Expert podcast coach room, along with Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. And then on Saturday morning, Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern, we flip-flop. It alternates between my Dreamers Become Doers office hour and side hustle fireside chats, which are like business in the bedroom after shows. So like I said, these rooms alternate. For my general office hour rooms, you just come in, talk about whatever you want, no holds barred, anything goes about your business. And the side hustle fireside chats, they happen on the Saturdays after each BitBee episode has been released. And those chats are based on the latest episode's theme. Again, that's the Dreamers Become Doers Club on Clubhouse, and I'll include a link, as always, in the show notes. And if you are a podcaster in particular, you want to hit my bell so you don't miss my newest rooms, the Podcast Pro Chats. They're basically table talks between two podcast pros, me and whoever else I invite to the table. Well, this Friday, September 10th, is my birthday. And so you definitely want to show up because I have a special guest. And that special guest is showing up to the microphone with me in Clubhouse at 2 p.m. Eastern. And it is the one, the only Glenn the Geek of Horse Radio Network. So if you want to meet the man who taught me so much about the podcasting industry and practically wrote the book on building a community, growing a network based on a niche, and having sponsors who sign up for years and years and years, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. So again, that's September 10th, my birthday. Again, no pressure, at 2 p.m. Eastern on Clubhouse. And I'm holding these conversations in the Dreamers Become Doers Club. And because these are legends in the industry, we're definitely working around their schedules. Okay. So join the club, hit the bell. You don't want to miss a single one. And with that, I just want to remind you, the reason I crack open my journey is to not only show you the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the ugly and everything in between of building my business and celebrating milestones with you, but also to encourage you to remember to do the same for yourself. You should keep your own business journal so you can keep track of your own milestones, small, big, everything in between, and celebrate with looking back every once in a while yourself. Thanks for tuning into the podcast today, and I hope you join me as I continue these conversations and answer questions for fellow listeners on Clubhouse. I am so happy to hold my Dreamers Become Doers Club rooms and see the amazing conversations and connections happen. Well, I'm assuming you're listening to this because you're either running a business in your bedroom or thinking about it, so I and your fellow listeners want you to be part of those conversations too. So pop into Clubhouse. You can also join in with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and TikTok. Yes, TikTok. You can also email me at Jemmy, Jaime, at flintstonemedia.com, or leave me a voice message at bizinthebedroom.com that may actually be included in the show. You never know. The plethora of options, though, to connect just await you at bizinthebedroom.com. That's where you can find all the social media handles, all the things. So please reach out to me, and I want to help you on your journey. So ask questions, become part of the conversation. And again, that's ask questions, become part of the conversation. Again, that's bizinthebedroom, BIZ in thebedroom.com. And remember, hit it hard. Keep the lights on.